Mark the 900th day of the war, Yemeni artist Ahmed Jahaf sent us this image that he created. We've talked about Jahaf before on NewsGrid. His images of war, destruction, and social criticism have become simple symbols of a very complicated war. He's also one of the few Yemenis we've been able to reach. He and his wife sent us this message.
The situation in Yemen is very, very bad. We can't describe the situation in Yemen in few words.
The war and the blockade left 18 million people in need of some kind of humanitarian assistance and created the largest food security emergency in the world.
On the street in our area, we can see many people, they don't have jobs, they don't have money to eat. Also, many families, they don't have a place to sleep.
One of his latest works, in another story we covered on NewsGrid, is of this bruised little girl. She's called Buthaina. She became a symbol of Yemeni resistance. She was the only survivor of an airstrike that killed her entire family. Thousands posted pictures imitating her effort to open her bruised eye in a campaign against the violence and the destruction of the war. Now, if you zoom in close to Ahmed's depiction of this little girl, you can see it's made up of hundreds of images of people imitating and honoring her. Children are some of the most affected by the war, namely because of cholera and famine. More than 7 million people are without access to food. Thousands on social media have repeatedly called for an intervention and criticized the U.S. and Saudi Arabia for a high number of casualties. At the time, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, she said, referring to the U.S., attacks on civilians in Yemen and inability to learn from mistakes have been devastating to human life. Many have called Yemen the forgotten war. In our part, we'll try to continue to cover it, and we want you to help us out. You can send your stories, questions, and comments to the hashtag AJNewsGrid.
Yeah, thanks, Leah. Yeah, Yemen not forgotten, certainly here on Al Jazeera. Chances